Welcome to the Vitality Handbook. My name is Yao A. Owusu Jr., your resident Vitality consultant. I have Nicholas Lopez Jr., Andre Bivens Jr., and together we are, of course, the Vitality Handbook. Today, fellas, we got a special one. It's season 3. Go back and check the other videos. Go back. It's okay. We love you. Season 3, we're bringing the heat, and we're talking about partnerships. That's the theme. Now, one of our biggest partners, our corporate partners that we combined with, we collaborated with here in Gramercy, New York City, is RFX Studio. Now, our company, PVS, Peak Vitality Solutions, Wellness Consultants, what we do is we help finding people out there in the industry that want to have a journey of transformation. And we find solutions for them. And part of those solutions is through an exercise pillar. You guys can go back and see there are 5 pillars, from mindset to sleep to nutrition to recovery and now to exercise. So when we're talking about partnering with someone, let's say you come to our spot here in Gramercy and we have an assessment for you. And with that assessment, we find out what you need for exercise. Now, part of that programming is if everything is going well, everything's going perfect, hunky-dory, there's no stressors, there's no pressure, right? And all of a sudden, you're out of business. Or you just got a new business like we did. Or you're starting a new partnership like we did again. Or you have a baby like I did last year. Or there's a death in the family, right? Or there's a change of leadership, right? Those are SOS situations. Do you have a program that is adaptable to meet the needs when you are in an SOS, help, I need help, help me, right? And sometimes in life we find ourselves in those situations more often than not. That means we have some bad energy, right? Whether we're causing it, we're bringing it on, someone else is bringing it. Now to do that, you have to have an adaptive wellness, we call adaptive wellness program. I want to talk a little bit about that. When you're in an SOS situation, life is coming after you, life happens. How do you now program? You can't just say, I'm out. I'm not going to exercise. I'm not going to continue my goals to be a more vital human being. You have to do it. Either you can become vital or you become non-vital, right? And that's dead. We don't want to talk about that, right? So we want to thrive. So how are we going to program for that? That's the question I want to ask to you guys. Nick, I'm going to go to you first, and then Dre, I'm going to go to you. On that topic of adaptive wellness, right? Or this is what we're deeming it as. When you're in a situation, how do you get out of that? How do you program for that? Do you have a program for that? Specifically, is that something your company does?
With exercise in particular?
With exercise in particular. So we know we have programs. We check out our other videos, previous weeks of recovery in an SOS situation, right? And the mindset, and also in an SOS situation. This is, you see the theme that we're going with for all 5 pillars. So in that SOS situation with exercise, how would you program for that? How would you navigate someone's journey through wellness? They're on their journey and something happens and they have to recover from that. How do you make an exercise program for that? Or is there an exercise program for that?
First thing is to figure out what's actually causing the SOS situation.
Okay.
If it's like being in the food desert or maybe not having any access to normal food or normal diet. So it depends on what's causing it. Okay. So I would say if mindset is causing it, then really the exercise pillar, the movement pillar would be whatever helps him create that level of concentration to find stillness in the chaos. And that could be Peloton, that could be RHM, that could be yoga, that could be dancing.
So whatever methods, so you're talking about methods that they would use in an SOS situation when it pertains to exercise, right?
Yeah, the method depends on what's causing the SOS situation in the first place.
I see.
Because if it's
what's causing the stress, what's causing the pressure?
Is it low time? Is it new environment?
Okay.
Is it low energy?
Okay.
Right. So time, environment, energy. There's a different answer for each of those. So my answer would be to just have the individual figure out which one it is. So build the self-awareness to say, oh, it is my environment. Oh, it is my time.
Now we're getting to the self-awareness. Okay.
Or it is my energy. And then from there, go into building that conversation from there. But it starts with that conversation for sure.
I love that. So basically having a needs analysis data gathering, right? So some type of questionnaire or some type of consultation that you would say, all right, let's find out what's causing, what is the root cause, not the symptom. The symptom is you're low energy or you're hurt or you're getting every sickness every season, right? That's the actual symptoms, but you're talking about what's causing it. So you would have kind of a data collection to see what is the need of this person to get that's getting them into that situation, and then what would you actually implement, right? Okay, I like that. So Dre, what would you, my guy, the alien, we're talking about exercise, and someone's in an SOS situation. Someone's like, hey, help me. Dre, help me. I need some help. What would you prescribe? What would you tell them pertaining exercise?
Pertaining exercise, I would tell them, because you could go in it 100 ways. Like, I like the way how Nick described them. Like, damn, that was dope. You could go in this way, that way. Right. So I'm going to just go off the top of my head. So first, honestly, I'm going to be looking at time, because time is really, how much time they actually have to exercise, no matter the stress, no matter the nutrition, no matter what, right? Programming, right? With that, you would do, I like to do giant sets. So I'm just giving you, look at my world, even training my clients, or even if Nick, y'all ask me like, oh, what should I do real quick, man? I'm just trying to get something in. So my formula and method would be giant sets, right? So let's just say you're training once a week. You could group it. So the programming, let's say you're training once a week. I would suggest doing full body. So more of a full body, hitting every body part. You pick 2 to 3 sets and hit the full body. Legs, buys, tries. I would group in shoulders and arms together, right? Because it goes together. Push, pull, right. Chest and back, obviously, and legs, right? So you could group those things together, and you could do 2 to 3 sets of that. You could do higher repetitions, heavier repetitions, whatever you feel like on that day. So you could play with the reps, you could play with the ranges, you could play with there's so many techniques out there, right? So that's how I would program it. It would be basically on time, and we use your giant sets, your tri-sets, and more of a full body work. So
I like that. I mean, what Dre is saying right now is actually high level programming. We call that periodization. When you change the variables, the intensity will go down, the longevity of how long you'll be working at the actual exercise task that you're doing, how many breaks you would have. You would make sure you have a full body, so that peripheral loading of blood going from the legs up to the head keeps testosterone, a lot of hormones that are great for you to continue going on. So that's really deep knowledge of programming. So Nick said, okay, boom, what's the problem? You have to, if you're gonna find a solution for something, what is the problem? Okay, obviously, Jim. Then he says, okay, we see what the problem is, but what's really the big obstacle? Is it time? Is you don't know what to do? Do you need a program? Are you under stress? Okay, boom. We see that now, but you have to have an overall picture. And the overall picture, we're just piggybacking on what you guys talk about. What's your goal? What do you need? What are we going to use? What is your goal? So first you tell them what your goal is, because that person's in an SOS situation, maybe they just want to survive. Maybe that's where their mindset is. They can only just survive. So you know they're not in thriving mode. They're in survival mode. So you need to make sure, okay, your goal is not as big as I think you could get. I know you can be this good. All you have to do is this. Maybe they're in survival mode with something going on else in their life. You see what I'm saying? So you have to find out what their goal is at that time first, then see what they need to get out of it and match that up with it. That's how someone stays on a program when they're under stress. It needs to be something easy, like a once a week full body, something super easy. You can come in, you stay focused. You know you have to do that one thing and you let it go, right? So I love that.
Well, it's a great conversation from this. I love these conversations. It really sharpens my mind, and it gives me motivation to continue to define the next generation of fitness, the next generation of wellness, which has been on my mind. Because I came into this field when I was 18. I'm 29, so it's over 10 years.
Talk about it. Experience.
But how about all the other people?
Experience.
So how about all the other people who are 18 but also our audience, right? So our audience is going to be, that breakdown was official because a segment of the audience will really appreciate that. But I want to zoom out, and from a universal approach, what made me think about, what you guys made me think about, was that people's journey is one of two things. And we could run with this idea and we could talk about what this sparks. What's your first reaction? So what's your first reaction when I say some people's wellness journey is either an obstacle course or a maze? Exercise, for example, sometimes has to be organized, and sometimes it doesn't need to be organized. And when
Bars.
So I'm zooming out and thinking about the idea, like, wow, like, a lot of people are stuck in a maze with their goals, we can take this real serious.
That's why I said bars. See, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to rewind. I told you, season 3, Nick is on a different level, bro. Every episode, you better pay attention. He usually used to hit it at the gym the second season. First season, I was gymming it up. Nick's taking over. Rewind it, play it back. You have to understand that. Come on, stuck in a maze. So trying to navigate the industry is so jumbled up in so many. That's crazy, man. Yeah. Keep it. Finish this off. Now because Nick always interrupting us. Nick's always interrupting us. So we're interrupting him now. My bad. Go ahead, Nicholas. He's like, guys. I want to add something to that. Go ahead, Nick. I know my voice is not deep enough, but I'm just saying.
Nah, I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to think about it. Like, what's really our role? What's our role in society? In this, with this professional hat on.
Water. We're about to go in now. Okay.
With this professional hat on, like, okay, some people, what we were just talking about, technically we're just trying to organize exercise. Like organized exercise.
Organized exercise.
It reminds me like that organized crime.
Organized noise.
Organized
Shout out to
noise.
Outkast. Shout out to Goody Mob.
Shout out
to the Dungeon family.
ATL.
Yeah, that's what came to my mind, that spirit. Some organized noise.
Yeah.
That's like organized exercise.
Yeah.
Like that comparison there for the culture.
Giant sets. I like that. Giant sets is organized noise.
For sure it is.
That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
For
like
sure it is.
how
Yeah, for
it's
sure
just,
it is.
So I'm
For
asking
sure it
y'all, I'm gonna keep that other one in mind, but I'll ask y'all, when does exercise need to be organized, and when does it not?
I would say that you have to have a plan. And there's a plan that's going to be able to adapt to an unorganized situation. When there's chaos everywhere and there's really nothing you can do to control it because there's so much external things happening that you can't have a pulse on, right? Someone dying, there's nothing you can do about that, right? Nothing you can possibly do about that. Having a baby, I mean, obviously you want to keep that baby, right? But you have to be able to take care of that. Just getting married, moving, just starting a business. You don't want to close the business down, so you have that stress. So having that organization of your exercise, you talking about having those giant sets and everything can be a part of that. I mean, it's pretty obvious what we're talking about. You have to have a program for an SOS situation, and that SOS situation should be adaptable to anything. So we're talking about adaptive wellness. That's the program that you have to have, in our professional opinion. A program that you can adapt to anything, right? Something that could be so basic and so fundamentally sound, right? To where you're like, that wouldn't help, but doing a little bit of something every day is better than doing nothing to make sure that you can maintain. So you have to have what we call a maintenance program. And that maintenance program should help you maintain whatever stressors you're having, right? We accept that stressors by gathering that information. We now churn out a program that's adapted to your specific situation, and we make it personalized for you. And that personalization will be able to adapt to any situation. This stressor comes from work, all right? I go to my calculator, calculate it up. This is what I need to do for this situation. I don't have that much time, make a workout once a week, right? I'm not getting enough sleep because I have to work a little bit harder. I made that choice and that decision to climb the ladder. Boom. What do I do for sleep now? How do I manage my sleep? Right? And that's all going to fit into your exercise program. So we always say exercise last. If we're talking about the 5 pillars, you have a mindset program, a sleep program, a nutritional program, a recovery program, and an exercise program. That makes up your entire adaptive wellness. And you can adapt to that situation by picking and choosing which pillar to focus on. Right? If you can exercise, but right now you can't control your sleep, make sure that you really harp on that exercise pillar.
When is there a time where exercise can be disorganized?
I mean, exercise can be disorganized when you have to just flow. If you're so in your mind and thinking, you don't want all right, we're going to do 2 sets or 5 sets of this and 3 sets and this percentage of this, and I need to do cardio here and eat here. So for instance, this is what I'm doing right now, just to be honest. My exercise, I come in and I do calisthenics. Maybe I feel a little tight here, so I need to get my lower lats. So I'll just press out like this, and this is advanced, so I know exactly with the guidance of Dre of what to hit. I want to get more upper chest because I'm all in my traps, so I need to work my upper chest and shoulder, so I use these muscles so my traps are not sore, right? So developing your upper chest actually takes away pressure from headaches and migraines, from stress, because you're not tearing your sternomasculoids. If you don't understand what that means, just check it out. Your sternomasculoids, right? Your scalenes, all of that muscle tissue in there, you have to be able to iron that out. And maybe that's what you need. Calisthenics and what we call RHM. And that's what I did. Right?
Can't go wrong with that program at all. Like, you cannot go wrong with that program. But Nick, what you was going to say?
So what would you, when should exercise be organized, and when can it, if it can be, disorganized?
Give me like something on, like, what do you mean about disorganized? Like, give me a scenario or something, or like.
Are you saying like you're just going to deviate from the plan? Is that
No, I'm just thinking from a universal aspect for people who aren't used to organizing.
Who are used to organizing.
Not used to organizing exercise.
Okay.
Like they don't understand, exercise, I'm supposed to organize it.
Right.
I'm supposed to know about that my traps are tight.
Right.
And because then that means I have to do this. It's like being organized with self-awareness.
Okay.
But some people, I guess, are not organized with their approach, or they don't have.
So what people are you talking about? Because if we're talking about general pop, then
I mean, most people most people are disorganized.
That's what I'm saying. So like, when is there an element of that that's what's the good and bad of that? What's the good and bad of that general pop disorganization? What's the light and dark side? Is it only dark? Is it only light?
Okay, it's both. It's both. You have the dark and the good in the good light, because overworking a muscle group. So you see a lot of guys, they're like arms, no shoulders, rolled forward. Right? So that's basically disorganized. That's
upper cross syndrome.
They're not working on their weakness, the rear delts, the upper back.
It's usually 2 to 1.
2-1, right? So
yeah.
2-1.
Yeah.
So they're not doing those
2
things.
back
I would say
exercise for every 1 push
yeah.
to balance off of you being in a protracted position, which most guys are. If they don't do any deadlifts, or they don't do any lower lats, or they don't do any mid traps, or all these exercise and anatomy terms we're telling you, that's to keep you in proper posture. And if you don't have that posture when you're stressed out, you have to be able to adapt to that.
So I would say that's more of the aesthetic point, aesthetic-wise. It's good and bad, because at least you're getting in the gym, you're moving, and hopefully you learn. Hopefully you be like, oh, dang, I am tight here. I do need to work on this. Hopefully you visit the channel, and then you'll realize that, and then we'll change those lives so they, get better. What it is, lives, right? Changing lives from words, but.
Hopefully, or what?
Hopefully, or you know what? Just some people don't want to hear it. They're good. What I'm saying?
What's the consequences with that example?
What's the consequences is when you get around the real comp, you're going to be exposed. We're talking about aesthetic-wise, right? Even performance-wise, you're going to get exposed if you just like, now I don't need to work my hamstrings. And I'm adding this to sprinting, right? I'm thinking running where, I don't need to build my calves, right? I want to say build the calves, but get the feet stronger, the toes stronger, the calves. So I would say you'll get exposed when it's time for competition. Right. All your weakness will be shown.
I love how Dre takes the coaching aspect, the culture of aesthetics, a culture of performance aspect. And people might say, well, what Nick was asking, like, what's the okay, there's dire consequences for not having a balanced body. If you're not having any hamstrings or glutes, your body's going to break down. You have tendinosis, you have fibrosis, you have arthritis, you have a knee pain, you have knee surgery, hip surgery. All those come from chronic misalignment of movement every single day. Just us being in the seated position, we need to stretch for 2 hours to get out of the pain we're in. So you have to understand this. If I work on my butt and my hamstrings, it's not going to affect me as bad because I'm used to being in the squat position. So I can turn all my muscles on. That's the difference. If you don't have those muscles and you're sitting flaccid.
So
you're sitting on your coccyx.
Yeah.
And when you sit on your coccyx, there's no way that you're going to be able to activate and get into that anterior tilt that you need to sit up like this in that Superman pose. This is how you're supposed to be sitting down. Now, I know that, he knows that, he knows that. We don't want to sit like this, but we understand that your muscles will be in an activated position.
Always.
So that sphinx position here, when you see someone here, that's dominance. Not in a bad way, a dominance of their body. They have full control, autonomy, full sovereignty of their body. So when Dre is saying, oh, okay, he's just talking about coaching, but I don't want that. I don't want to be athlete. I don't want to perform. Okay, you want to live, right? You don't want to live in pain, do you? So performance isn't just going on a competition for powerlifting or sprinting or going to spar. Competition is life.
Yep.
If you're in pain, you're losing in life. Period. Now, there's some things that you can talk about that you might not be able to control, but when it comes to exercise, there is something you can do. There's something you can do. Sit down, stand up.
Yep.
Sit down, stand up. This is moving your body in a fundamental way, primarily to do a squat. This is the master movement. If you do that often enough, that is exercise. You're overloading the body. Like he said, there's order. So when we're talking about the chaos or dysfunction, nothing is really dysfunctional if you have a program for that dysfunction. So that's I'm going to say false statement. It's just that I don't believe that's a truism. There is no disorganization of a program. And if you have a program that oversees everything, your life is called a vitality program. How you sleep, how you eat, how you move, how you exercise, how you think, financial moves you make because that's your brain. Everything is included in this as you being a vital human being. So either you're going to live long and not have vitality and come up with every single disease. You're going to not live long and die early if it is coming from one of these 5 pillars or one of these other epigenetic changes, we said that before again, that can help you either get out of that SOS situation, adapt to that, apply that program, and carry on with your life. So it's not just the high-level athlete. The regular general population, you need to be pain-free. You want to feel like you have energy to go up the stairs and down the stairs, play with your kids, go outside without catching every sickness and cold, and have allergies at the yin yang because your body is out of balance. It's out of balance. You're not getting the nutrients that you need at that particular time. You're not working out like how you need to. Get outside, calisthenics, touch the earth, grab bars, whole stuff. That's the type of training you need in the summertime.
Get some sun.
Training you need in the summertime. You can't be in the gym. Come visit us. We have storefront, so there's a lot of sunlight in here, right? We're very welcome. But you need to get outside, and that's how we program. We tell them, you exercise in here, but that's for life. So it's a competition for yourself for life.
Now, I want to say, before I forget, so basically aesthetics, right? 2-to-1, push-pull. Basically, what we're saying is that, and where I wanted to go, but I wanted to go a little bit more deeper in detail in the other side, but Yao got it, bring it to life, is that imbalances can cause injury. So that's, you know what I mean? The imbalances. So that's the ones that don't want to hear it. Imbalance, right? No hamstrings, left quad firing more than other. They don't know those things because they're not doing single leg and all those things. And also too, you were saying something about programming. There's no such thing as disorganized programming. There is. You are right with what you're saying, but I'm like, damn, actually, because I'm thinking about, you talking about us. We know how to organize. The general pop don't know how to organize. So if you see their program, funny program I seen, I just have to laugh at it. It was hilarious. I took the paper and I threw it. It's like, I just threw it. I just looked at it, laughed, and threw it. I said, anyway, but it was hilarious. So people programming, number one, they sleep, nutrition, whatever, we go into the pillars, all that stuff is off, right? So people are programming 10 sets of 10, one session, whatever, how many
So
times.
high volume.
So let's say German volume, right? 10 by 10. 10 sets of 10 on your legs, 10 sets of 10 on the bench press, 10 sets of 10 on whatever, I guess, any pull they're doing. I don't know, right?
So they're going too ham.
Number one is you're not even doing the right technique to even see the growth. So that's number one, right? Or you actually, I'm gonna go there. But you'll never see results on those programs because you're not sleeping, right? You could probably get away with sleep with it, but you're gonna have to make up with it for your nutrition. Are you willing to actually eat those meals, take those supplements? Your body is not gonna last on a 10-10-10 or whatever, how many sets. And that's just seeing a general population. Their body's not gonna last, they're gonna get injured, they're not gonna see no results. Right? And number two is you're following that method, and what you don't understand is that method is naturally the human body can't recover from those methods unless you have no job. Let's just put it that way. If you don't have no
high
stress,
intensity,
if you could sleep,
hard all the time.
you know, so you got to remember, you know, pick the right program, choose the right program, the more realistic program. So I'm kind of going from there, and then y'all, when they have questions, I know they come.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. What it seems to me is the overarching theme of what you were saying was picking the right program for you, especially at the time of need.
Yes,
right? So if you're doing a program that could be an awesome program, but it wasn't awesome for you because that's not the best thing for you to do for your current lifestyle situation, right? And that's what we're talking about, the SOS, to bring it all back, is that if you pick a program, make sure you're going through the proper steps, it's for your goals. You want to get bigger. So I want to pick this 10-10, meaning you're doing a lot of sets and a lot of repetitions with heavy weight for your whole body. You're not prepared. You don't have a lifestyle for that. You're not eating. You're not sleeping. You're not doing all these things. So if you aren't doing all of those things, you have to have an adaptive way of making sure you can get what you want to get, but in a safe way. And that's when we talk about that adaptive wellness. And that's when we talked about that disorganization of a program that person has. If you actually make a program for that person, that's the organization, right?
I want to say through experience.
You see what I'm saying? So you have to take, like he said, he'll take it and he'll throw it away. That's real. He'll throw it away because that program is not for that person.
Facts.
Period.
Not for you. And I'm gonna let you go just real quick. And so what the subject I was just speaking about is that I've heard about 6 individuals say they're going to go in this program, and I laugh at them every time they say it. And we're talking about high-level people, people that know the game, people that's experienced, people that's smart, whatever, however you want to cut it, whatever. They never last on it. And I tell them to their face, you're not going to last on it. You're not going to, and I break it down the same way I'm saying in this video, what I just broke down, that's exactly what I tell them. Yeah. But I just want to let y'all know that. But go ahead.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Dre's the OG, so he's always been looking out for the younger generation, even the older generation. But it depends on who listens.
I listen. I'm older than him. I'm about to turn 42.
But
I listen to him.
And it depends who listens. And from y'all's personality, it depends who's brave enough or smart enough to run the experiment on themselves the right way.
Who's about it? Remember that term back in the day?
The scientific method is key in what we do. But to zoom out again, earlier I was talking about the maze, I was talking about the obstacle course, and I was listening to it, and what we're all driven by, whether it's Gen Pop, Special Pop, this pop, that pop, whatever you want to say, ice pop, soda pop.
Ice pop, soon is going to be that. Some people are like, no, I'm a soda pop. No, I'm a ice pop. You know what? So people that's gonna be their gender.
That's gonna
be their gender.
So
you gotta call ice pop.
Regardless of who the audience is, I'm saying don't matter. I mean, it could be an ice pop.
Yeah, no.
no matter who,
It's true.
Terminator's coming to jump season 3. Man.
we're all driven by rewards.
man.
We're all driven by rewards. And our perspective stems out of our drive, our insatiable drive for rewards. That's where our perspective comes from. If you think about it, everything we're saying is like if we are a human GPS for these people.
Ooh, that's hard. Yeah.
It's like if we're a human GPS for their epigenetics, for their DNA, for their goals. That's, if you think about what we're saying, guys,
I knew it was coming.
if you think about what we're saying, you listen to all the complications, whether if you're a professional in the space, you can hear that. If you're a general pop, just realize in either event, because of our drive to maximize and keeps chasing those rewards and capturing those rewards, this is like, imagine someone running on an obstacle course, chasing their exercise goals. Going. And they see like a pit of lava. Okay, gotta jump. Okay, boom, 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 boom.
I see it.
All right, you see it?
I see it. I'm
You seeing
visual.
it?
Go
Right,
ahead.
they run it,
Come on,
they
give me
run
more.
it, and they go to the next one. Oh shit, it's another pit of lava. Oh shit, I've seen this before. Let me jump again. Okay. But then what happens when now it's like spikes shooting out the damn wall? And you think it's a pit of lava. With us, you have a GPS saying, no, what's coming up is going to be this next trap. Don't fall for this trap. Take a turn here instead. Because those obstacles, instead of being the lava,
Navigating through the maze.
instead of the lava, listen guys, instead of the lava, instead of the spikes, the lava could be 2 hours of sleep. The spikes could be you didn't eat nothing all day. The swinging rock chasing behind you could be this argument you got, or you know, you're highly stressed, or you know, like Yao said earlier, death in family. We're always going to be driven to chase and seek those rewards in the exercise maze. We're always going to keep going. Some people run in circles. Some people come across, they get good at jumping over the lava pit, but then they keep getting stuck at those spikes.
Keep going. Yeah, come on, keep
man.
going. Keep going, I'm trying to
with
hear
you,
it.
bro. I'm with you. Keep going. I love this
Come on,
story.
yeah, I'm trying to
I
hear
love
it.
this story.
I'm trying to hear it.
So some people, again, get stuck in that maze. Exercise is a maze. Is a maze, right? And I'm amazed at how many people pretend like it's not, or take people's money to keep them running in circles. I would say we are the GPS to that. VTS, VTS, PVS, all these things are the human GPS, right? And where does the GPS get you to your destination?
Yes, sir. That's hard.
I don't see any human GPS out there.
None.
So we're the human GPS.
Yes, sir. We are.
Talk your.
We're the human GPS. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not
No, that's a
gonna
fact.
shout no numbers
It's a
out,
fact.
but when you listen to us, just
You
listen.
can say some numbers.
No.
When you
Oh,
listen,
no numbers? All right, he said no numbers.
when you
So
listen to us, just realize. Hey, listen.
Let me water my
Hey,
plant.
the GPS.
I'm with you, GPS,
Listen, man.
baby. I'm with you.
It's hard. I'm
with
listening.
Hey, I mean,
It's fire.
the thing is, anybody who says I have a GPS too, I mean, yeah, that's a GPS from 2002.
Is that TomTom? Remember the TomTom
That's
GPS?
a GPS from 2002.
Hey,
MapQuest.
TomTom, we're
MapQuest.
sponsor. TomTom, we're sponsor.
MapQuest?
They ain't sponsoring this damn podcast.
Oh, you never know. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you shot
I'm saying, you can hold the meeting with me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What about Waze? Or are you Waze?
But PVS, the Vitality Handbook, is constantly trying to upgrade that GPS. Constantly, you can hear it in our conversations. We're constantly trying to figure out, okay, what's the maze for today? The maze is exercise. We see a bunch of people running through it. We work with a lot of people to help them get through it, and we have the results. Because really the results is just letting other people get the rewards. Everything Yao was saying earlier and what Dre was saying earlier about what's the consequences of being disorganized, upper cross syndrome and then potential injury, tendonitis to the hamstrings. You were on a path to get the reward, for sure, but you done lost your leg getting hit by a spike. You're still running, but our clients, our audience, right? Hopefully, we don't want them to lose their leg, getting to that reward. You know, and the business side of me just wants to say it so bad, even though I was in the conscious tip.
Yeah.
Financial managers get 1%, of all the fruits of labor they manage.
Mm.
So as wellness consultants, vitality consultants,
I like
I think it's an equal exchange. If we're helping you get rewards that are priceless, we just want to we just want our percentage.
Wait a minute.
We just want our percentage. We just want our percentage of that, and as simple as that. Now, that's all I'm gonna say with that.
Perfect. You don't gotta say nothing else after that.
That's why I was saying, wait a minute,
Yeah, but go ahead.
because
Yeah.
Nick's going in,
Yeah.
and if you're not really understanding what he's saying, you have to rewind this thing and play it back, because what he is saying is the absolute truth. People don't understand that they need their wellness managed. And this whole conversation, to tie it all together, when you're in an SOS situation with exercise, you need to partner with someone that can help make you an adaptive wellness program for life to make sure that you're optimizing your vitality, whatever that means to you. In an SOS situation, that's the only way the disorganization can become organized. It's disorganized to you, but you have someone managing it for you. Just like your finance can be disorganized, but you have a financial advisor. Your spirituality can be disorganized. You have a spiritual guide or leader, right? These things are known, but what's not known is that you have your wellness, and someone needs to manage that if you cannot do so. If you're in a situation that you can't get yourself out of, who are you going to turn to? Hopefully not Ghostbusters. Hopefully you're listening in, you're subscribing, you're liking, you're sharing, you're commenting to what Nicholas Lopez Jr. is saying, what Andre Bibbins Jr. is saying. Now, guys, we're at the time that you have to understand season 1, season 2, season 3. We're going to humanize it, and we're going to leave it with the gem. So gem time. Staying on theme, partnerships. We're in RFX Studio. We're partnering with the production company. I'm always going to big them up. Prolific creators, Andre Bibbins Jr. Check him out. This is all the stuff that he's doing. He is the one that's directing it. He has his own company. I'm going to big him up. Niggas like, stop talking. I'm not going to stop talking because this is the partnership. This is the theme of the year, of the season. If you don't like it, if you don't want to team up, you don't want to level up with your community, your people, don't watch us. If you do, continue to subscribe. Now, Dre, what would you say your gym is when we're talking about exercise in a situation where someone is not finding their way out of it, where they can't navigate, where they're in that maze, when they're in that exercise maze? Like, what would be your gem?
Stuck in a maze. Who we talking to? Stuck in a maze. I gotta go gin pop.
For sure.
The people that ask us questions all
Right.
the time, stop us in the street, right? Your family members, aunties, uncles, whoever, sisters. I would say first find a program, or even if like, oh, I heard, I could walk around the track, or I could walk for, I'm gonna walk every morning 30 minutes. I would say the beginner. I'm gonna go with the beginner. I would say when you first start out, learn your body weight. So do calisthenics. First start out like that. First walk, power walk, jog, then run. Then you can add some sprints in there. Constantly do your research. Don't get inspired by foolishness that you see on social media. Respect and appreciate the fundamentals, the basics, the stuff that people deem boring, but don't understand that'll get them to their destination every time, every single time. You can program it so many different ways. And I just give out a quick little program for my, let's just say 50 ain't over, let's say 50, 60, right? Do your little walk around. If you've got a track, walk around the track, the straight lane, right? Stop at the straight lane, do your 10, 5, even 1 quarter squat. Just do a quarter squat. Eventually you get the quarter squat, then you get the half, and find a little gate on there, do a little push-up, right? walk backwards, step sideways, right? RHM, like do all of those things. Start out slow. No need to go in there. You're not in shape to be running 3 miles. You're just not in shape to run 3 miles. You're not in shape to do 50 push-ups a day. So don't get discouraged if you can't do 50 push-ups a day. Just do 5 or 10, whatever you can do. If you only can do 1, do 1 a day for 2 weeks. And I guarantee you that 1 is going to turn into 3. Remember, this is experience, right? That 3 is going to turn into, overnight, it could turn into 8 to 10. You never know. It all depends on how bad do you want that, right? So that's just a quick little program you can cook up. And I want to say put some respect on our names, number one. I'm not saying me, Nick, Dre. I'm not saying just us. I'm saying coaches, real coaches that care, professional coaches, put some respect on our names. Stop and stop disrespecting your coach if you have a coach. Okay? I'll hand it off to you.
So we're stepping our game up. We're stepping our game up so much, we're giving you an entire secret every single episode. These aren't gyms anymore. Now we're digging so far in the handbook and we're giving you secrets. Continue to follow us, continue to share, and we guarantee that we're going to continue to give you secrets to how you can optimize your vitality. Like always, guys, I'm Yao A. Owusu Jr., your resident vitality consultant, Nicholas Lopez Jr., the Terminator, Andre Bibbins Jr., the Alien. We are the Vitality Handbook. Comment, like, subscribe, click the notification button, all that. Let's get into it.